In Iran, artisanal handicrafts, typically sold as souvenirs, make up a big part of the economy, culture, and present-day life. Almost every province has a unique handicraft, specific to that region, that demonstrates their history and artistry. On my recent trip to Zanjan in northwestern Iran, I had the chance to explore their handicrafts, starting with what they are most famous for.
Zanjan is known for a peculiar handicraft: knives. Do you know many places in the world where people take knives home as souvenirs? Well, Zanjan is one of those places. In fact, their knives are so high quality that they hardly need to be sharpened. But that's not the only handicraft that people take home from Zanjan. They're also known for a fine metalwork called filigree and a leather handmade shoe called charogh, both of which you're going to see next.
I wandered into Mr. Rezai's workshop, who has been making shoes by hand for the last 55 years. He started when he was 5, using paper instead of leather because it was always his passion. Today, he spends countless hours sewing these intricate needlework designs, all for his love of making charogh.
This is the charogh, the traditional shoe worn by Iranian women in Zanjan. What's interesting about this particular charogh is the pointed tip, which is called an eagle's beak or a crow's beak, because it looks like a beak. But what it was actually used for was for women to lock their feet in when they went horseback riding so they would stay put. How fascinating.
Zanjan's handicraft with the oldest history is something called filigree, or malile in Persian, a delicate metalwork here using 99% silver to create anything from decorative plates to jewelry.
در خصوص قدمت ملیله زنجان میتونیم به گوشپاک‌کنی که در کنار یکی از مومیایی‌های طبیعی که در استان زنجان پیدا شده اشاره بکنیم که گوشپاک‌کنی هستش که برمیگرده به 2300 سال پیش از این، یعنی دوره هخامنشی.
The first step in the process of making filigree is to flatten pieces of silver using an electric rolling mill that spreads it to 25 hundredths of a millimeter. The metal pieces are then designed on temporary molds until the pieces are later stuck together to create the final product.
ملیله یعنی دو رشته مفتول به هم تابیده شده. برای اینکه این کارو بکنیم دو تا رشته مفتول رو میذاریم لای این دو تا چوب و به این حالت میتابونیم.
Since the metal pieces are so fragile, only certain tools can be used to shape them, like needle nose tweezers and scissors, as well as a metal surface used as a temporary mold. Beeswax is used as a sticking agent to hold the pieces in place while they are being shaped. The beeswax is black in color because it is heated several times throughout the process.
خاصیت چسبندگی که موم داره باعث میشه که اینها کنار هم قرار بگیرن، مفتولهای نازک نقره که هر کدوم یه ضخامتی دارن.
Filigree artists typically plan their designs before they even start to create them, either with sketches or just using their imagination. Mohsen Yazdanshanas is one of Zanjan's most well-known filigree artists for creating some of the most detailed and difficult pieces. Here, he explains his source of inspiration.
بیشتر طراحی ها هم میشه گفت در خواب هام طراحی کردم، یعنی همین شب کنار من کاغذ و قلم هست که بلند میشم طراحی میکنم، بعد میخوابم، صبح که بیدار میشم با ایده‌ای که از اون کاری که دیشب انجام دادم تو خواب انجام دادم طراحی میکنم و بیشترشون رو میسازم.
To shape the filigree into artistic motifs, they are first placed onto a wax mold. Then, any excess wax is scraped off to create a flat surface and surrounding space to shape the pieces. Once the designs are shaped, the silver pieces are extracted from the mold by melting the wax. Since the wax is the only thing holding the metal pieces together and onto the plate, they must first be wrapped with metal wires, creating a cage-like protective layer keeping the pieces in place once the wax is melted off. The finished pieces are soldered together using a special bonding powder that leaves no trace of where the pieces are connected. This is what's especially unique about Zanjan's filigree products.
پودر لحیم ما خاص زنجان هست به خاطر موادی که داخلش هست و ترکیبات این لحیم نسل به نسل و سینه به سینه گشته تا رسیده به دوره ما. این پودر 2 نوع کاتالیزور داره و 3 تا فلز با هم تشکیل آلیاژی رو دادن که سابیده شده به وسیله سنباده و به صورت پودر در اومده.
Heat is used to activate the bonding powder and solder the metal pieces together in this last stage of heating. After this step, the pieces are shaped by hand and assembled into finished pieces like these intricate candle holders and other decorative items.
Wow, it's fascinating to think that this entire process really starts with this fine piece of filigree. 2 pieces of metal twisted together ends up in this assembly of something so complex, really bringing it to life. It's why we can see this beautiful work in the bazaar and we take it home to drink tea from.
The very last stage is to wash the assembled pieces using soapy water and a brass scrubber to make the finished product look nice and shiny. Drinking tea from this beautiful cup or owning any of these beautiful filigree pieces may allow you to travel in time thousands of years and share the regal experience and history of the people of Zanjan, giving these pieces more meaning than just any old souvenir. This is Gilda Gazor showing you the real Iran.